Hey yo, hello my friends, what's good? Let's see who's here. Uterus Druidor, hello. Let's go. Oh, Patty, hello Christian. Hinker, hello, Peaches, Scruffy Marks, been long since a Matrix board. It has been indeed. Nacho, I'm tired AF. Yeah, I'm tired too, actually. Gotta build them boards though. One Jado, hello. Pork, thank you so much for the 17 months. Thank you so much for the resub. How do you like the marble soda switches? How am I supposed to know something about switches that I'm trying for the first time? I have no idea. I have no opinions. Captain Knight, hello. Extra Prius. Nice haircut, thank you, Nihon Jam. Got it last week. COVID boy over here? Oh no, Prius. I hope you recover soon. You didn't taste them? Taste these. JK. Alrighty. Lens of Lucas, hello. Cake gets here tomorrow, that'll be nice. Although that'll be a nice little cure to your sadness from having chat overlay off. Oh yeah, it might be off on this one, huh? Oh yeah, it might have been off from just messing around earlier. Ozzy Keycaps, thank you so much for the Prime Gaming sub, appreciate that. Damos, hello, hello. How's it going? Oh yeah, let me change a little quick thing. Alright, there we go. Mac Attack 18, Maximus the man. Hello, hello, welcome. Exclamation silent key called? Oh, I think it's oh, is it not a... I guess my Nightbot commands are not live on the regular chat, by the way. Actually, yeah, I don't think they are. So let me see. Yeah, I don't think they are. I can port them over though. Nightbot. Let's see. That's kind of weird though, actually, because I thought I should have the... Oh, I see. There we go. Nightbot. Let's mod Nightbot. Oh, it's already moderator. Okay, should work. I think. Try. Good evening, Patty. What's up? How's it going? Alright, friends. So today, we're gonna be doing a Matrix 8XV2.0 additional build. Before that, I got some mail. And we got this cool little box from Novel Keys. I believe this should be my GMK Shoko order. Pretty sure. Yep, it is indeed. Zambo Man strikes again. Oh, damn, Mr. Yuri. Thank you so much for the raid. Wowza. Raiding with a party of 43. Thank you. Hello, Mr. Yuri. ¿Cómo estás, amigo, compañero? My friend, how's it going? Here we have our Zambo Man X DMCA Works keycap, aka all the work done by Miss Kate. They're around too? Yeah, right on. Aluminum keycap with the little cool infill. Looks pretty sick, to be honest. And then here's my macro extension kit. This is the new novelties kit. Smaller novelties. I'm not sure if I'm huge on these smaller novelties, but it's okay. They kind of cute. Oh no! What is this sticker? Oh, I'm burning. What is this sticker? They did it on purpose. Oh my god, it must be on purpose. Put your tinfoil hats on. Ooh, sheesh. Alright, keep it in the box. Ah, okay, upside down right there. Whew, so we're safe. We're safe from the evil sticker. Got my sticker today too? Nice. So here it is. GMK Shoko round 2. Oh yes, new trays. So that is the exciting part about this. New trays. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Hold on. Look at this. It is actually boxed. It's boxed. Okay. Let's see. Let us see. Since when were the new trays used? I believe the first set to have the new trays is GMK Thai T. And then GMK Serica 2 is the second one, I think. And then any set that ships after those two are probably gonna be new trays. So now it's a box with a lid. Very cool. And then slide them out. It's still Mr. Potato Tray. However, it has a lid. It's lid. It's a lid here. Oop. Well, still a mess underneath because I shook it a little, I think. But it's still hard papier. Recycle with paper. Still a little messy underneath. Fine, but that's probably because it got shaken a little. That's probably my fault, to be quite frank with you. It's probably because I shook it or something. But it's still better than before, I think. Alright, so mine still arrived a little like this. And then it has this like nail kind of insert here, kind of like so that you can like easily pull out the other part. And then the bottom tray, voila. Okay, the second tray, however, looks impeccable. And actually, they did the compartmentalization a lot better. ISO enter compartments, numpad compartments, numpad enter compartments, spacebar compartments. This is a lot better. Before they just had strips basically going this way, basically identical to this, and fewer of these little grooves, so it looks a lot better. Will I throw away these trays? Yes, probably. I will probably end up throwing away these potato trays. They still will go into recycling, but that's fine. But that said, at least in shipping, these will not suffer damage due to being crushed or whatever nearly as easily because of the way they're currently set up. Eat them. Don't let them go to waste, please. I just ate food. I'm good. Alright, well, cool. Very cool. We're not gonna use Serica today, though. The client sent out a GMK Shoko for us to use. So we're gonna use GMK Shoko today. What do you do with the sleeves? I personally just fold them flat. So I like fold them flat. I mean, in this case, I would open it up fully and then, collapse it flat, and then I just keep it flat. I keep the sleeve art, and stuff separate, just like kind of like in a file. That's about it. Nothing special with it. Haven't really done any decorations or anything like that with it, but maybe in the future. All right. Here are our parts for today. We have our marble soda SP star switches. These are, I think they're Zeal stabs, not entirely sure. And then we got some GMK Shoko here, which comes in the old tray. And then the keyboard is right here. So let's open this baby up. So obviously this was opened at some point in the past, which is fine. Here we have our PCB, which we're gonna need. Here we have our little postcard. Just a matrix postcard. Doesn't really do much. Just nice art here. Here we have our mid-piece plate foam. In my personal experience, these tend to feel a little bit very stiff. So I might skip using this. I think I'm going to skip using this. I personally like the Matrix 8XV 2.0 without this plate foam. It kind of stiffens the feeling a little too much, I think. So I'm gonna skip using this. It's very stiff. It's like a nice, like a very solid silicone rubber. Just straight up rubber, I guess. Here you have an accent piece. Is this for a client? Yes, it is. And then here we have light blue 8XV 2.0 additional Matrix Lab keyboard. So here is it kind of almost looks silver or a light gray, but it is like this baby bluish sort of tone, like a light blue. Very nice color. Should be perfect for GMK Shoko. Very nice tone for the color here. Accessories, I assume, and we can take out the rest and put everything back for now. I had a GBA and PSP in that color. Nice. Sounds awesome. Looks silver in this lighting, yes, but it is light blue anodizing. It's very difficult to say, but it definitely is the blue is 100% there. It's just the lighting will affect how it looks due to the harshness of the lighting as well as because it's metal. Yeah, so metal will definitely make it look a little bit different. So just so you know. Let's see. It currently has this brass piece installed, which can be replaced, and the default badge here. With a gray. So this is a proper gray anodized piece, and this is silver. So you can actually see the difference. Silver, gray, light blue. So obviously different colors for anodizing here. And then these are just extra accents, which I think I'm actually going to skip using today. Just leave those to be replaced if needed by the owner. Alright, let's just open this up just to make sure we have all our accessories. Amarade, hello. Hope you're doing great. I'm doing okay. Today was it's okay day. Alright. We have a bunch of cables here. Let's see, we're gonna need... Yeah, I think we're gonna need all these anyway. And then... extra bump-ons. And then extra screws, I think. And I think that's it. Oh no, there's one more thing. The other side. Oh, and the daughter board. Of course, daughter board is essential. I thought it was already on the board, so good that it's there. So this is the real controller of the board. The brains of the board is right there. Alright, we don't need these, so I'm gonna put this back. Dude, Kanekis announced Win keyless devastating TKL. Oh, sweet! Looks like they're improving everything on their line of keyboards. That's nice. Alright, so we do have to undo this board right now so that we can take out the plate. That's the first step here. If only it was F12? Oh, yeah, I guess so. It is still F13, right? So... I like the way you said Maximus. That's random, but thanks. Alright. And then we have this bottom silicone pad. This is optional as well. It's like if you wanted to add some filling material in there. But basically you can just peel this off. And these are just little pieces of rubber that actually should be just taken off, but basically it just spells Matrix Lab. If you wanted to look. I'll tell you about some of my simple joys for this week. So my simple joys, this week I found a lady selling conchas on the way back up from work. I was just walking back up from work, from the subway, and then, coming back up from work, and there's a lady selling conchas. Conchas, if you don't know what it is, you can look it up, but it's basically sweet bread that you can buy. It's basically kind of like, it's just like a big bun with masapan. It's pretty yummy. Next thing is we should undo these screws here. I was supposed to get my 2.0 today, but USPS just said nope. Whoa. Oh well. Well, I got my 1.2 OG today. Oh, very nice. What color do you get your 1.2 OG in, Mr. Funzy? I thought you already had a 1.2 OG, but maybe I was just imagining things. I always get people confused. Also, I guess there are so many 1.2 OGs that I wouldn't be surprised if I'm confused about it. Silver? Oh, very nice. Conchas are lovely. I like marranitos the most. Oh. Yum yum. All that's yummy. Alright, there it is. Take out the plate. So the plate does appear to be a coated finish because it has a somewhat rough texture to it. So I think the plate is gray coated or like a kind of cobalt. I'm not sure. Cobalt gray sort of coat? I don't know. It has this like bluish gray sort of tone to it. Pretty nice though. Alright, so next thing we should do is test our PCB and flash it as well. So let's take it out. Mr. Visionaire, hello. How's it going? What's up, buddy? Alright, there we have our red PCB. Hello, friend. Hello, hello. Alright, so for this bad boy, we need to test it first and also flash it. To test it, I actually am gonna take out the daughter board out of this so that it's a little easier to work with. Also, no, I didn't have in the 1.2 OG. I have a couple other makes cores though. Oh, I see. Yeah, maybe that's why I got confused. Alright, for now we can just put this aside. Oh, actually, I'm gonna still need this LED module. So I'm just gonna put the bottom piece aside so I don't like damage or anything like that. Okay. Put that aside for a second. And then let's test things out. So these cables, these quick cables, let's see. So USB. The daughter board, to USB-C daughter board here. And then LED module. Do you also get the orange Dorito key mat? No, I did not. I did not. I did not like that one, so I didn't get it. Wasn't huge on the design or the color specifically. And then we have to plug in our daughter board thingy here. I believe this has a sticker, so I need to take it off. Take it off on the other side. So I think I can just pierce right through it. Alright. Do that, and then where's my screw here? Yeah. I really want GMK Matrix 01, but that goes for like $650. Yeah, that's too much money for a set. So just skip. Just skip. Alrighty. So everything's plugged in. So two things I want to do is first check that it's working, and then I'm actually gonna flash the latest Zeal firmware. Okay, so let's just verify that our module is working, so everything's good there. And then let's open up Zeal. Okay, so it doesn't detect it, which is fine. Alright, so I'm just gonna actually connect it while shorting escape. So short escape. Hopefully that'll do it, but just make sure that it's shorted here. Alright, good, that's good, that's good. Right, and then you guys can see what I'm doing, but basically it opens up like a drive where I can copy in the flash bin file. So I just look up the matrix 8XV2.0 file, which I have here. 2.0add Zeal, whatever. Wait. Let me check 1 second. Double check the Matrix Lab Discord for a sec. Matrix documents, Zeal, okay. Oh, okay, that's the one. All right, cool. All right, and then just copy this over. Go the boot drive, and then it should restart itself, and then I believe it already did that, and then I can open Zeal, and it detects it. Nice. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like on the GUI here. So there it is, Matrix 8XV2.0 additional shows up. Shows you all the keys programmed there. I'm just gonna change a few things because I personally find it more comfortable to use that way, but I can always instruct the user how to do this. But it's as simple as clicking and changing it. So I put my GUI key there, my left control there, and the rest is fine where it is. For the rest, I'll just leave it as is. And then we can always test our matrix right away. So yeah, okay. So matrix tester, and test our PCB. I'm big match that novel keys listed Serico extras before I even got my set. Well, I mean, extras were gonna be listed regardless, so I think it's fine. They have so many extras too, probably. Speaking of extras, I'm debating whether I want the Latin core set. I got the Hiragana core, as you saw, but the Latin core is tempting because it looks so clean. It's a little too extra, I think, so maybe I'll just skip it for now. Maybe they'll have so many extras that they'll eventually go on sale. Copium. It's the key here, didn't I? There's the P. Alright, there it is. Everything's working. Tulip or Arabic CRP extras? I personally would say Arabic. I'm more partial towards Arabic on between those two, to be honest. Yeah, but I mean, it's up to you. All right, so we can close this. We can just exit this now. All right, awesome. So everything is working as it should, which is a good sign. So just take out these cables now. Don't need them for now. Aside. We can also put this one aside. Okay, so it's good old stabs time. CRP extras happened today for EU? Yeah, for my keyboard EU, I believe, had CRP extras. Good to see base kits now staying in stock for more than a few weeks. Yeah, it's awesome. To be honest, I mean, it's fantastic. Can't ask for better, to be honest, for extras. For GMK sets in general. In stock GMK sets for everybody. It's awesome. And I love that people are like, oh, it's not going out of stock, it must be a bad set. I find that argument to be the stupidest thing ever. Because who cares? Like, do you like the set? Buy it. Do you not like the set? Don't buy it. Simple. But I've heard that one a lot before. Oh, it's not out of stock? It must not be hype enough. It's a bad set. I'm like, okay, cool. Alright. Alright, so this is 7U, right? Yes, it is. Okay. Get our 205. You're gonna catch me with some low sales loser set. Ugh. Yeah, exactly. Diego, do you get on the Matrix 3.0 group buy? I did not get on Matrix 3.0. I did not like the Matrix 3.0 that much, personally. Specifically the look on it was not, like, it just wasn't for me. I liked the Matrix 8XV2.0 a lot more than the 3.0. And so it kinda, yeah. The design language just kinda got lost on me, personally. Low sales loser set like nuke data. I only type on the hype sets like Ivan Dolch and TA90. Woo! Sheesh! Wait, TA90? Have you gotten it already? Do you find a set, Mr. Funzy? Is that what it is? Or are those sets that you're still looking for, specifically? Yes, I found a set with icons and spacebars. Woo! Let's go. Let's go, man. That's awesome. Wow, you found it with everything too. Do I even have all the child kits for that? I don't think so, actually. I might be missing either of the 2 child kits, but yeah. That's awesome though. Now with the Nord kit, I guess ANSI it is. Oh gosh. Loser ANSI. Whoops. Mr. Nihon Jam, thank you so much for gifting a tier 1 sub to Gordon Derp. Probably a good reason why group buy keyboard runners don't announce how many units are manufactured. Oh, group buy runners. So like the unlimited group buys, you mean? Or like the pre-order, I mean, you know, semi-unlimited or unlimited, you know? The ones that are virtually not capped, I guess. Fair enough, although you can assume that if it's like an unlimited quote-unquote group buy or whatever, you could kind of safely assume that it would be, it would sell quite a bit if it has a decent amount of popularity generated already. You know what I mean? That said, yeah. Also unlimited pre-order stuff, like if you're selling it, you know, if you're selling it at a profit or whatever, if you're flipping like an unlimited group buy thing, honestly, you know, I guess people do put in the time to do that. So, and if you didn't get it on group buy, like that's kind of your fault. Right? If you missed it, well, that's different. You just didn't have the right timing for it. We sometimes get keycap numbers and graphs from that one dude on Geekhack. Oh, Dvorkal? Yeah. Dvorkal, he does great work for sure with the graphs and stuff. Pretty cool work. Lots of data. I'm not sure how much relevance that will have in the near future once like sets start getting stocked on the regular and whatnot. It won't really matter anymore whether, you know, there is a count for kits and whatnot, right? Because at that point it's kind of an on-demand situation. So yeah, I mean, back in the days of group buys, not hitting MOQs or keeping track of MOQs so that, you know, people could promote them and push their community members to help, you know, that would be relevant. That would be very important. It would be nice to kind of see what the statistics of that would be so that you know, in the future you can work better on something specific to improve sales or to make sure something hits MOQ and whatnot, especially like kitting, you know? Like, I mean, a big driver of why Alice spacebars, you know, or like, you know, split spacebar stuff went into the 40s kit was because despite the clamor of the 40s, despite the potential clamor of the 40s community, the thing about split spacebars is that they were pushing sales on 40s kits to MOQ, you know? So they were like a kit booster, in other words. Because 40s kits by themselves were not hitting MOQs. And you know, another reason why international kits like aren't common is because they would also not hit MOQs despite, well, maybe the international community clamoring for them. They'll be like, hey, where's the international kit? Hey, can you have an international kit in the group, right? Hey, can we have an international kit? And then no one would buy, you know? It's like, you can say all you want on the interest check. You can say that you'll buy 10, but if you don't actually end up buying it, you know, it makes no difference. So, but that happens. Like, the data shows it, you know? The data clearly shows how, like, certain kitting has worked. So yeah. These kids are not hitting MOQ because 40s users are special. That said, I mean, the thing about the 40s community or a small form factor in general is actually not like okay. Like, I have to say, like, you know, obviously there definitely is now like a bit of a stigma about the 40s community or whatever. That said, you know, the 40s community is pretty diverse in the sense that there is really a very large number of, like, you know, there's like split space users, there's ortho users, there's people who just go smaller form factor. I mean, there's the more extreme extent to like the people who do kind of like steno or like kind of like the macro pad kind of biz, where, like, you know, it's more like the certain combination of key codes to generate like certain other, you know, key codes and whatnot. Like more complicated because they're like much smaller perhaps, or just like very whack layout. There's stuff like that I get that it's niche and maybe you have a need for a specific kitting. That said, for a long time, small form factor stuff was initially made in response to what was currently available as for kits. And then, you know, once we realized that we could actually push things to be made, you know, like a custom new mold to be made, like people started pushing for it. And then yeah, like kitting wise, like it really does depend on like how many people are going to buy this stuff. Like, you can't just keep making new molds and new molds and new molds if people aren't gonna back it up. Also, I don't know why I lubed a wire before an insert, but now I realize my mistake. Not too late. Just do PVT Dysa for all the weird crap? For sure. That said, I mean, for a while also we didn't have a lot of PVT Dysa back in the day, at least. We had like ePVT. We had like Imsto and Hammer. Somewhere in the background, actually. Hammer wasn't really an out like a known thing until like BSP stuff happened, and even then it was just restricted to those cherry profile stuff. And then, but nowadays we do have these options, right? Like, we do have this like Keycaps business, nice PVT business, ePVT. Now we have this like PVT fans thing. We have like Domiki or whatever, Geekark, like all these new places popping up, Chamois, you know. And so now you get the option to do customizing in that regard. Took a while though. Fallen, hello. There's a new Dysa menu every month now? Yeah. Milky Way. Yeah. I mean, there's like countless of them now, right? So, BRB got a shower? Sounds good. So, oh, speaking of nice PVT, I have some exciting news to share soonish. I'm gonna have this new set from Keys of their nice PVT, and this new set is actually something exciting in the works that they have. Just to kind of like pre-announce it and sort of share details. They've basically, oh my god, again I lubed the wire instead of lubing the goddamn insert. But basically, some exciting thing about it is that they actually are reworking the legends on nice PVT to resemble, to basically improve them and to resemble OG Cherry more. Not quite identical to OG Cherry, but basically closer to OG Cherry in terms of thickness and in terms of the style, and then improving on some things. Like there are some things that do have some defects on OG Cherry as well, so trying to improve on some of that and basically revising it to the form that they feel satisfied using. But basically, nice PVT will be coming in this new format. I believe older sets will still remain in print, like the older dice up tech is still there. I mean, like it's just legends, right? And like, you know, like whatever's in stock, it's still gonna be in stock and all that. But any new sets moving forward will have this new set of legends that they're working on. And so yeah, it's something kind of cool. It's very good news, and I think it's to kind of expand on nice PVT being more of a, not just like a budget friendly kind of option, but more so of a competitive option to existing, you know, alternatives out there. And so yeah, so that's something exciting that is coming to Keys. So I just wanted to like kind of tell you a little bit about that, but I'll be sharing like more details when I open the set and like share more details about the set, and you guys can take a look at it and stuff once that comes in. Any blanks? No, I don't think so. No blanks. Hello, Mr. Mason. What's up? Alright, now I'm back on track and doing the steps pretty normally. Since doing all the inserts first and then doing the wires later. Later I messed up and started doing a wire, and so I had to keep doing that. Anyway, so what's good, guys? You guys have plans for the coming weekend? I mean, I know it's only Wednesday today, but I mean, Wednesday's basically over now. But maybe, yeah, no, basically over actually. 9:30 here, and pretty much end of business day in the East Coast, in the West Coast. Just T-wording this weekend? Yeah, it's gonna be a hot weekend too, I think. It's going up really high this Friday. I think this Friday is gonna be like, for those who do sell, it's gonna be like 34, 35 degrees Celsius this Friday. So pretty hot. AC on, yeah. Going to Mexico for a bit. Oh, nice! Nice! Where are you going? Where in Mexico, Captain Mike? Thoughts on GMK Classic Beige? I personally, if you ask me if I think something about GMK Classic Beige, it's that it's a must-buy set. I would buy it, you know, in a heartbeat. Must-buy IMO. Has the cherry novelties, covers R5, has good compatibility. collaborations, cable, all that good stuff. It has all the goodies. So for me, it's like a must. Easy buy. Hangul. Yeah, easy buy. Takes notes on which sets to San Diego. Well, I mean, I have all kinds of sets on like I have like colorful sets and like non-colorful sets too. But I mean, for like when it comes to classic sets, right? Like we always talk about the 3 classics of key sets, and that's WOB, white on black, which is like that like standard Dell keyboard looking like, you know, board. And then you have beige, like OG beige, so anything that's OG beige, so CRP, EPVT, GMK, OG cherry, blah blah blah. And then finally there is original Dolce. So any of that kind of grayscale gradients, I'm not gradient, but like that darker gray and lighter gray sort of play that happens in OG Dolce. And OG Dolce, at least, it's like this warmer gray, and then you have this darker gray for the modifiers. But I know that there's like, you know, there's like variations which go to like, you know, modern Dolce and those. But at least for me, the warm variant, the original Dolce one, looks really nice. But that said, it's also because it has like historical relevance, I guess. Done will buy. Don't forget to use the affiliate link. Buy at least 2 base kits and at least 1 Hangul kit. Yeah, nice. I'm smuggling Mason to Cozumel. Ooh, Cozumel sounds so fun. Very nice. I hope you have a good time there. Man, going to the beach. People who like beige love beige. It's a whole community. Oh yeah. It's... Look, I also think, like, the thing about beige, right? I actually initially, when I started in the community, I didn't like beige. Like, I'm not, like, okay, if I go back on my pictures, just by themselves on my pictures, and I look at my keyboards, they all have loud colorways. I like SA Pulse, I like GMK Carbon, but, like, with all the, like, novelties, you know? I like GMK, like, Miami Nights, that kind of stuff. Hyperfuse with the purple and the teal and all that, right? And I like a lot of SA sets too, you know? So I like all this vibrant stuff. But then, as time kind of went on, I eventually, like, you know, discovered beige and like WOB and like Dolce to be sort of like very, very versatile. And so I started liking them a lot. And once I kind of like stuck with it, I was like, oh, this is actually really good. And I realized how like flexible they can be on like so many different keyboard colors, and they can offset some of the like accents. For example, if you're maybe into artisans or something, like I am, you can use the neutral like palette of these classic sets to basically balance out the loudness or the more intricate aspects of like an artisan keycap sitting on your escape or something like that. So it kind of balances things out in that way. And so I was like, okay, I see the value in this, and it's very, very versatile. It just works with everything. And it doesn't really go out of style. It just kind of has its, you know, ebb and flow. It just kind of comes and goes. And then I do think that most people in the community eventually, like, converge there, you know? We all converge at this sort of, like, end pool. Not end game, but this, like, pool where things sort of, like, do converge. And I think a lot of it does have to do with, like, the value of the classics, realizing that. Or, like, same with people who, like, come back to say like, oh, I didn't like Gateron switches initially, but now I like just usual, like, you know, like cheap Gateron switches with a milky top, or you know, a cherry MX black or a cherry MX brown or something like that, or in the mix clear that you maybe used to use for your original OEM board back in your office days. Okay, like I have clients who have come to me and said like, you know, back in the day I used to take this like keyboard to work, or like I had this keyboard at work and it had these stock MX switches and I really liked them, you know. It was stock MX and it was nice, and I've put in hundreds, thousands of hours into that particular board, and it was stock and it sounded terrible compared to like what I have now. But it's funny that you know, they also kind of like ventured into the community, and they're like, oh yeah, I gotta try all these new switches and new colors and all these loud and cute and more evil looking things or whatever, you know. And then eventually they kind of came back to the classics, and they were like, oh, you know, I like blank stuff, I like stuff that's like just white and black monochrome, or just like with neutral natural palettes for colorways. And so I think people eventually kind of converge there because they are, well, you know, natural looking. Miami Nights is still one of my favorite sets. Yeah, same. Still definitely one of my favorite sets too. It's one of those sets that, like, because it does have a black base on the set, it still retains a good amount of like kind of just like blends in. But then the colors are so bright, like for the rest, so it really pops out. Yeah. I didn't like beige until I learned CRP Hebrew existed, then CRP is all that lives on my forever boards. Nice. Very cool. I used to think WOB was ugly until I saw it in person and understand how beautiful it is. I think for me, WOB, I understood it until I started seeing how versatile it could be on colors that I didn't think they could be versatile on, like blue keyboards or green keyboards. And then I put like, I saw like, or like red keyboards, which red is a very loud color, right? Like in general. But if you put like black, like white on black on it, it actually looks pretty nice. Although it's not my first choice. Like, it definitely is not my first choice to put white and black on everything, like on colored boards. But if there is anything to say about it, you cannot go wrong with it. But it would not be my first choice. Now I use silent packs of key codes. Yeah. But yeah, it's true though. I used to be into all these like louder and more very like specific color combos. Like I really like purple and cyan or teal kind of like colorways. I love purple and blue in general. I like that vaporwave aesthetic, you know, like the vaporwave purple, blue, cyan, tealish, kind of like sky blue all the way to sky blue, or like from dark blue to sky blue. I really love that gradient. Or sometimes like even like the green to blue, like that. I mean, like basically I like, you know, a lot of different colors, the rainbow basically at this point. But it took me a while to sort of see like how like the natural stuff was also like the neutral stuff was also like so nice. Vaporwave photographs beautifully, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I really used to be into like the loud stuff, and I actually still like, for example, a lot of my SA sets. I kept a bundle, like a bunch of SA sets that I really like. Some of my favorite SA sets are Violet on Cream. I really like original SA Carbon. I really like SA Dasher. I really like SA Solarized Penumbra. It's really nice. Calm Devs is really nice. Godspeed's really nice. And then I did have a lot of Pulse, but I did sell it eventually because I was really not using that one. Any SA Olivia avail? I actually did not purchase SA Olivia. I was invited to purchase SA Olivia, but I did not buy SA Olivia. I had no interest in SA Olivia. Especially when the GMK set was out, like I had zero interest in SA Olivia. That was a refreshing shower after 2 hours of traffic. Oh my god, 2 hours. Goodness, it's like similar to like Los Angeles or something. Olivia was so hyped. Oh yeah, for sure. Olivia was hyped after it released. It was after it released it got hyped because people saw how good it looked in person, and then it was like, oh my god, like I need to have it. Yeah. Still think Olivia pretty hyped, in my top 5 all time. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think it's not hyped. Never said that. Definitely is very hyped. Very, very popular color scheme. Getting constant exposure to a livid colorway made me not like the set anymore. I see. Yeah, definitely a bit of visual burnout there. You know what led me to visual burnout? You guys know sets like Hydro, Coniferous, basically N9 base modifier color with a colored legend, relatively white base alpha with that colored legend, like Violet Tendencies, Hydro, not Carbon, but Carbon's actually a different gray, and it has like a warmer tone to the alphas. And then like you know, Coniferous was kind of similar. Also burned out of those myself. I was like, they look okay, they look good, but it's the same thing in different accents and colors. But I think some sets really changed the way I liked some key sets. Like Taro was a really good one. When Taro came out, after like I entered GMK Taro R1, I was a big Taro supporter from the very beginning. Like as soon as I saw the first idea that P-Way was talking about, like back in the days when we would hang out in Slack, loved it. But Taro is such a banger set. It's so good. It's probably the best set of that year, in my opinion. So good. I mean, then there's like other classic colorways, like more like classic stuff like Honeywell or, you know, but those are actually based on like some vintage stuff as well. So I guess it makes sense where the retro aesthetic is coming in. Taro better than the renders? I mean, yeah, also the renders that were used at the time were the GMK renders. GMK never rendered anything well. Ever. Any render that I saw from GMK did not... You looked at the GMK render not for the colors, you looked at it for the kitting. That's what the render is for. It was a demonstration of the kit, not the colors. The colors, you were supposed to know them because they put that little box there that has the hex code, or the Pantone, or the RAL, or the standard GMK color chip color code. And that's what you look at for the colors as a reference. The reference for the renders from GMK was for kitting. What keycaps are included and what's not included. That's it. You should never be looking at a GMK render and think this is how it's going to look, because that's going to be extremely misleading. It never has been the same. Like, not even with the simple stuff, it even looks that good. And this is something that people knew initially until people started getting key sets that had been rendered with the GMK renders, and people expected a certain thing and got something different and got mad about it. But it was like, we have examples that just never worked out that way, so there was no reason for you to believe in the render. But that said, nowadays that's why people put the note on, like, vendors will put that note on their pre-order page. They'll say like, this is a render, it might be different IRL, basically, right? Again, renders are computer created, you know, images, right? You can try as much as you want to make a render as close to what the real thing would be, but it won't ever be perfect. People in the community have gotten very good at renders, yes. However, still not perfect, right? Like, nothing is perfect. I mean, look at some of, okay, obviously one of the render artists, you know, like, yeah, Zambuan and Pico Alu, amazing. I mean, especially Pico Alu, like when he came in and like did the Dracula stuff, and then later like he rendered that, oh, he rendered Dolge on a polycarbonate, was it an XRF? Or was it a, might have been, I forget, it was an XRF or Norva Force, but the real Force case. And it had like the GMK Dolge R5 on it, on like this mat, and I was like it had rendered like the dust, like the little scratches on the polycarb, like everything was on it. I was like, wow, that's when you know that's a pro render. Like, I was like, wow, like it's the amount of detail is not just the accuracy of the colors and the lighting settings, but it's like all the small details as well. And then nowadays you see a lot of renders who kind of do the same thing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it reflects also like all the other components like color accuracy and whatnot. But yeah, going on a rant here. Plum and Necro look so good in bedroom lighting. Yeah. GMK Necro looks better in cooler, like studio lighting, basically. But it wasn't the set that I would use. But I actually did like how it looked, despite the mismatch. But I did end up selling it eventually. Same with Plum. I liked it, but I had other sets that just did it better for me. Plum I actually did have for a long time. I kept Plum for a long time. I used Plum a lot. I actually shined my set of Plum. I'm biased. I was very disappointed with how GMK Rudy turned out. You know what set I was very disappointed how it came out? GMK Mizu. GMK Mizu was a huge disappointment. Super disappointed in GMK Mizu. Yeah. GMK Rudy I actually liked after seeing it IRL. I did not like the renders, and then I saw it IRL and I liked the IRL version more. Opposite to you, Gordon. But you know, that's just my situation specifically. Wait, what, Mizu is so hyped though? Hype doesn't mean it's... No. The thing about Mizu, right? The renders had this nice kind of pastel looking blue. But the alphas came out this blue that was not pastel at all. It came out this like flat, vibrant-ish blue. Like, I don't know. It was just very disappointing to me. GMK Mizu. I like the set how it is, like right now, right? Like, I don't dislike the set, but it was not what was on the render the way I thought it was going to be. For example, like this pastel sort of blue that was representative of water, whatever, you know? Anyway. But that's also because of like the plastic, right? Like plastic also shows up in a, you know, and like changes the texture of how things might appear. I didn't get the macro expansion kit for GMK Circuit 2, but with the GB, but I got it today using code BOLT. Oh, nice. Good stuff. I'm glad, Killswitch. I'm like superstars of GMK doing blue colors. That's fair. JT Jet, thank you so much for the Prime Gaming sub. What's up, Diego? Just got my variations in. You liking yours? Yes, I've been enjoying them quite a lot. So I hope you like them. Definitely the nozzle is a big one. So if you don't have bigger ears, I think, or at least something that fits the nozzle for the variations well, it might be uncomfortable, but I don't know your case, so you'll have to try it and see. A lot of people complain about the masterpiece color being not lighter. Yeah, so also that set was another one that the renders sort of appeared a little bit lighter than the color actually turned out to be in real life, right? I mean, of course, people also complain about GMK, what, the peaches and cream, and there's been a few other sets, right? One more green sets. There's been some good green sets. For example, a set that I was not huge on when it released during Group Buy was GMK Botanical. And I liked it a lot more in person. The only thing about GMK Botanical is that I don't like the centered modifier legends on the icon mods. But then the round 2 ran, and then there was a whole step caps lock with the icon. And then I was very disappointed, and then I will never purchase Botanical, probably ever. One set I also skipped twice. 3 times, actually. Twice. I skipped twice, and then I got it on the 3rd round, was DMG. The the DMG set, I was not a fan of text-only modifiers, and then I eventually gave in because I'm a huge Nintendo, and I'm a huge like fan of like all those old handheld systems. So I couldn't stop myself. I had to get it. Yeah. Books per. Yeah. Trusting renders is the problem. Yes, verbal sparring is correct. Trusting renders is the problem. You do not trust. You should have you can have an expectation, but you should not hold yourself to hold the whole buy to that expectation, because it won't turn out the same in most of the cases. So yeah. Let me just get one of those little shims here. So buy a resell or go for group buy knowing you might hate it? Yeah, so it's either if you know you're I would say if you don't love it, don't get it on group buy. Just wait until it comes out and see if you like it. Because then you'll see real photos. Or you'll see it in person. In the case of, but like, you know, in the case of like where you're torn 50-50, I normally just wait until the last day of a group buy to see if I really like it or not. If I don't, I just don't get it. If I skip it and maybe it comes out later on, I mean, nowadays I think the problem is a lot more mitigated in the sense that the aftermarket value of a lot of key sets are, you know, it's a lot more reduced thanks to vendors taking up a lot of extras and things like that, which is really nice. But before, like, there were a lot of cases where, you know, I would skip a key set or whatever keyboard, and it would come out, and the aftermarket value would you know, turn out to be really high, right? Because extras were also impossible to buy because, you know, first come first serve or whatever, and I would, you know, I suck first come first serve, and yeah, so I would never get it. I would be like, oh, I'm not gonna get that set, whatever, it's fine, it's just a key set, it's fine. Can live without it. Live without it for however much the group I was. Don't need it. Skip it. That's it. Just move on. You basically get a discount if you take a gamble on a group buy. Yeah, I would rather pay more once I see how it actually turns out. Yeah, that's fair. I personally, when I started in the hobby, I would rather take the gamble. But now I would say I would rather wait and see how it turns out. Yeah. Have you ever tried a Profit? If so, how was it? I literally am typing on a Profit right now. This is my own personal Profit that I purchased from Canon Keys on the group buy. It's very nice. I like it. I've kept it because I like it a lot. It's a very nice and simple board. It's like very light, very portable, and honestly, this has the polypropylene plate. And this, you know, has that pin mount system, right? I really like it. I really like it. Just very soft, simple. It doesn't like have any. I personally don't have issues with it. I don't know about other people, but I personally really like it. It's a nice and simple board that just kind of works. No frills, you know. If I trust a set, runner, designer, and vendor, not much of a gamble. Yeah, for sure. Trust of the designer / vendor is a huge thing for sure. I mean, there's certain people, like for example, I know that a lot of people might be a little bit like, P-Weight sets, so on, you know, good, bad, but I personally trust P-Weight a lot because I know he does like look at like physical color swatches, or like, you know, he orders like the color samples and checks them out, and like he like does that over and over again, and like, you know, so. But, for example, he and I disagree on a lot of things. For example, he doesn't like the classic sets because he thinks they're too boring, which I agree. They're boring. But he just straight up, he's like, oh yeah, beige. Trash. But, you know, he'll have like Taro and like Tai T and Analog Dreams. Those are very fun and colorful sets, right? So I really like his sets. What's your setting for the top-down camera? This is a Sony a6400 with a 18 to 135 millimeter Sony lens, and yeah, it's just same spec camera as yours, but the quality is not as sharp. Are you feeding it through like the HDMI? Maybe you think it maybe through capture card? I don't know. Yeah. Or, oh, I mean, it could be your lighting too. You need a lot more light maybe. So that might be a big difference. My light is super bright. It's basically have like a sun in front of me over here. So it's really bright in here. I just buy black on white, can never go wrong. So you see, I actually am not a huge fan of black and white for some reason. I do have black and white sets because they're versatile, but I don't love them. I think it's probably because the white has a too stark contrast versus a lot of keyboard cases that I like. Or, yeah, I think the contrast might just be too stark for me. I don't love it. I think they look very clean. Black on white specifically. But it's not my go-to. It's definitely not my go-to colorway. It needs to be off-white with contrast like Moto Light. Is the lens, the kit lens or separate lens like the G lens? Oh, it is a... I have a kit lens actually. It's one of the expensive kit lenses. So it's the zoom lens that goes from 18 to 135. It's the f3.5 to 5.6, 18 to 135 with optical with OSS. What is that? Optical something stabilization. Ithrak, hello. Still sad the GMK Hunt died. Oh, you know what set I was kind of bummed that also died? That set, GMK Prussian Blue. I thought that set looked really nice. GMK Prussian Blue. Oh, optical steady shot. Thank you. Always forget. Mictlan 2 OP? I guess so. I mean, it is somewhat niche, to be honest. The theme of the set overall is pretty niche, and yeah, I mean, just timing also. I mean, we have a lot of GMK bad naysayers, and a lot of like, yeah, a lot of this like anti-group buy mentality too. So that kind of might contribute. I don't know, to be honest. It's hard to say. GMK Mictlan gonna flood the hell out of MechMarket in 2 years? Yeah, for sure. So is Novelty's gonna flood the hell out of MechMarket when they sell their extras. When they just drop their stock as well. Pretty much all of RMK hates group buys nowadays, yeah. It used to not be like that though. It's kind of weird. I mean, it's more like the growth. The growth of the hobby has kind of led to that. That's just what it is. I mean, I understand the not wanting to take a risk, finding it expensive, finding vendors suspicious or whatever. I get it, but can't stop people from believing whatever they want. I mean, we have real tinfoil hatters out there. So, yeah, don't know what to make out of it. Actually, I don't think I got this one right, but it's okay. I'm just trying to hold the plate there. All right, let's test out the keycaps. Actually, I have the keycap set that I was going to use anyway. You mean you don't require instant gratification? Is it possible to learn this power? Yeah, grow up poor and there was never instant gratification for most of your life, so you will never have to feel like you have to get instant gratification. That's the way you learn. Never have things in the first place, even if you ask for them or want them and you don't get them. Why? Because there's no other choice. That's how it was. That's how I've always felt. Yeah. When you want it and you don't get it, you learn the lesson the hard way. When reality hurts. But that's why I want instant gratification now. I guess that's true. You could definitely want instant gratification now to compensate for it. But I do think it also maybe makes you more more cognizant of the fact that it sometimes just can't happen. Best things are worth waiting for? I believe so too. Alright, so let's test out these stabs. I'm gonna turn off the AC for a sec. It's gotten really loud in here. Alright. The blue color and the new derivative IC will slap with Shoko. Oh yeah, I saw that IC. It looked nice. New derivative. Derivative R1, I guess. Alright. Let's test these stabs now. Enter appears crooked to me, might be my face. So there's always play in stabilizers. So something to be aware of when stabilizers is this. Look at the amount of play you have here. That's just how it is. So sometimes it just kind of gets stuck there in that position. Sometimes it gets stuck this way. So yeah. So usually it's just a matter of stabs being that way. It's just the way it's always been. Can't believe Novelty still have a couple of GMK in stock. Pretty crazy. Okay, it was just setting wonky. Yeah, probably. All those pandemic era extra orders and interest isn't quite high as it was back then. Yeah, for sure. Bye bye crypto money as well. Everyone's in the red. Even your regular long-term savings in the red. It's the reality right now. I'm not sure about this right side. I mean left side. I'm gonna check it out a bit. Enter sounds good. That's fine. Do you still have your salvation keyboard? Yeah, of course. Okay, that's good. That guy, Timmy22, hello, how's it going? Okay, that's good. I'm good, my friend. How are you? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Oh, it's not the stab. Okay. Nice. Okay. Good. Good, 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 good. These are tight. Brand new keycaps. What 60% do you think is best under $300? Under 300 bucks. 60% under 300 bucks. I mean, a lot of people will tell you like the Bakeneko 60, right? It definitely is a very good deal. I guess there is also like the nicer 60 from Prime Keyboards. A lot of people, like some people say it was pretty nice. I remember seeing. I mean, there's also of course like the Salvation, which came out like as a group by a while back and hasn't shipped yet, but they're working on it on production, and there should be a bunch of extras for those. Sequence is not a 60%. Polaris, if you can get it under 300, which is highly doubtful. What else? Simpler 60 still in stock on Primer KB. Yeah, Simpler 60, not Nicer 60 or whatever. You always forget the names. Yeah, Simpler 60 it's pretty good. Okay, that was just the stab. I mean, the switch, I think. Okay. Sounds good. Frog Mini coming out soon for $255. Wowies. That's a good deal. But it'll be a little while, right? I think they're waiting for PCB production. So if you can wait for Frog Mini should be a good deal too. Couple of months, Frog Mini will be the way to go. Yep. Yeah, that sounds like a great deal. Geon stuff always hard to get? Is it? I mean, I guess the way the sales are run and the amount of demand that's out there will make it difficult, right? I'm gonna use this plate for it because these switches are a little bit on the tighter side. Frogs were in stock in Geon store for a while, last drop, but I mean last drop was also like the 5th drop or the 6th drop or whatever, however many he's done, so that's probably why. If you count Alice Leia, you could get Praxis IM for $150. That is true. You can get Praxis IM for about $150, and the Alice layout is basically a 60%. You just have to get used to the way it works, but it basically is a 60%. Which vendor for Praxis? I believe, does Space still have any Praxis left? Spaceholdings.net. I don't know who made that tool, but it's genius. Definitely a smart thing. Definitely a smart thing. I mean, I used to use just like tools or chopsticks or whatever, anything that just fit between the PCB and the plate. Yes, I also remember Feng Studio selling them earlier on, first, or maybe it was the one that got popularized really quickly. You know, it's funny. I think to this day I still haven't built any frogs. I've seen the F284, I've seen the F1 but I haven't seen a frog in person. My friend told me Keycaps is a good starting keyboard. Is this true? Yes, sure. Why not? It's because you're too busy building Keycaps and Janes. I mean, I'm building whatever people send, so if that's what people send, that's what it is. Diego, too expensive for someone to send a frog? Excuse you. What do you mean too expensive? Is it? Is it too expensive? Do you guys think my prices are unfair? I mean, it is definitely not a small amount of money in the grand scheme of things because you could do it yourself. But assuming you wouldn't do it yourself, is it a lot of money? There definitely are people who charge less than I do. It's not free, so it's unfair. Yeah, same with machining and aluminum and whatever. You're not the one paying me. We're paying an exposure SMH. You guys really want to see me retire? Is Kalam banned in this stream? Yeah, preferably we would not want to promote any of that stuff because counterfeit stuff is honestly pretty trash to do. Yeah. To clone other people's work and profit out of it is pretty trash. It's pretty shitty. Fuck that kind of practice, to be honest, yeah. So whoever promotes that stuff can go fuck off. Thoughts on these marble sodas? First impression, pretty smooth. They still do have that clackiness that you get from the SP star switches. You know how SP stars are known to be kind of like on the brighter, clackier sort of like sound profile? They do still have that. I believe these are like polycarb housing because that's why they're translucent. So you'll definitely have a bit of a brighter sound on these. So kind of expect something like that. I did not have to film these switches because I checked the wobble and there really was not much like north-south wobble or east-west wobble. Like there really was not much wobble, so I didn't use films on these. But overall, very, very smooth. I do recommend lubing them still. I mean, I would say they're not like they're not like perfect. I mean, they're by no means perfect stock actually. So definitely would recommend lubing. Do you get GMK Mictlan? I am about to. Not like in 2 days I will. I will get it on July 1st probably. Getting it earlier than most? Yeah. Early... What is that? Early bird eats the worm. I don't relate to Mictlan at all. There's other good sets. That's fair. I mean, Mictlan, I think I like the set not out. I actually like the set not out of the theme. I like the set because it's black and has colors. That's all. It kind of reminds me of the way GMK Miami Nights looks good to me. That's how it looks good to me. And yeah, I do also like the darker set, the nocturnal one. That's pretty nice too. I bought Mictlan purely to support the designer. That's fair too. Maybe you like the designer. But yeah, I personally like the set is great. I mean, I love the fact that a fellow Mexican is making, you know, key sets and is making a really good one that people are excited about. It's honestly awesome to see, you know, fellow Mexicans on the map and more participation from like, you know, fellow Latinos and whatnot. And yeah, so I'm very happy about Vihese like really being like a successful case here. But more so than that, I'm also very excited that this set looks just so good. So I'll probably be getting like a bunch of the accessories too. Probably get those toys. The vinyl toys look really, really, really sweet. I have 2 more days to decide which base to get. Just get both. Easy peasy. I mean, why not get the one you lean towards the most? If it's a 50-50, toss a coin. Get that one. And then when extras roll around, when the in-stock sale rolls around, you get the other one. You know what price you're gonna pay. It's 135 or whatever. Lightning, do you have any Keycaps artisans? I do not, actually. I do not have any Keycaps artisans. I collect widely, but there are some artisans whose caps I don't yet have. For a variety of reasons. Normally maybe like the sculpt isn't of my liking, or maybe I just yeah, I'm just waiting for a colorway that I like, or sometimes I just don't see them, so I don't know them. Johnny Testiculos, hello my friend. Our favorite tennis player, because he has a lot of balls to play with. Yeah, 135 for the extras pricing on the how's it hanging? Oh boy. ¿Qué tranza, Diego? How's it going? How's it going, Omar? Todo bien. Aquí, tranquilo, ensamblando un teclado. Hace calor aquí en Nueva York. Está de la fregada, la verdad. Pinche humedad culera. Pero bueno, nos aguantamos. Y acá que no llueve, calor seco. Uf. That's rough. No rain, pretty rough. I mean, dry heat, nice, but no rain, pretty rough. Con esto dijiste todo? Yeah. What languages do you speak? I speak Korean, Spanish, English. I used to speak some Italian, but no, not anymore because I never practiced it. So I pretty much forgot a lot of it. I can understand like a movie in Italian, but I can't speak it really. And I would love to learn more, but I haven't picked up anything else. I took a French class at one point, but it was like beginner's French, so I know like, you know, bonjour. Je m'appelle Diego. That kind of stuff. Teach me Korean? Korean is fun to learn. It's a phonetic based language, so you first learn the alphabet, You learn the consonants and the vowels, and then the rest is learning. Vocab is the hardest part, and like it's actually sentence, like creating sentences with Korean can be a bit challenging because the grammar kind of doesn't make sense sometimes. But initially, like learning new words is actually kind of easy because it's just like how it, like it's phonetic, so the way it's written is how it sounds. That's pretty nice. People say it's like easy to start learning, but then easy, like hard to master. Also, something got was that Nacho? Yesterday it rained so much that by the time I got home, my underwear was wet. Oof, that was rough. How do you say pizza in Italian? Pizza. I don't know. What else to say? 안녕하세요. Italian is similar to Spanish, so if you know Spanish, Italian is easy. Yeah, that is true. If you know French, Italian is super easy because Italian's like conjugation is the same way as French, for example. Alright, I'm gonna put the noise filter, I guess. Parlez-vous français? Alright, friends, well, here we are soldering now. Allez le bleu. Portuguese is pretty easy to understand. If you know Spanish, Portuguese can be understandable, but I can't really, but it's still like not quite like one-to-one or anything like that, so. I want Portuguese food? Same. The Portuguese invented tempura? Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Is this like a fun fact? That's actually kind of neat. I had no idea. Give me one sec. Does anyone know of any custom numpads? There's quite a few actually. There's like, oh, there's a new one that I saw. Mr. Friendship is running a new numpad called Num1, which I know that it's the same name as Mr. Heinebush as Num1 numpad, but yeah, he's doing a new numpad that's actually going to be, I think, wireless compatible, right? Pretty cool. I saw the interest check on Keycaps and it looked really nice. Not cheap, but also I think decently fair, fairly priced, I think, for the component. I mean, for like what's like packed as a feature, and I'm assuming it's low quantity pricing, so yeah. It's like 300. Yeah, it's definitely not cheap, but also I believe the Duck light pad was also not cheap. Yeah, I think numpads are in the 250-300 range nowadays. Depends on what you define as cheap, yeah. But like, wasn't the Matrix pad? The Matrix additional pad was like 300 bucks. That wasn't cheap either. I'm just remembering all these things that haven't been cheap. Zeus was like 500. Damn, that's expensive. But I guess, hey, someone's got to put food on the table. If you agree with it, you get it, I guess. Alright, friends. Well, while you're shopping for numpads, why don't you also check out the different stores that are sponsoring this channel? We first have Agile Shop. You can go to exclamation sponsors, which directs you to my sponsors page on my website. But agileshop.co is the first one. They are a Canadian vendor based in Toronto, and they actually reached out recently to sponsor this channel. And they actually ship out to the US in very cheap, like with very accessible shipping, because they actually use a proxy that can access the USPS, because they're in Toronto. It's not very far. So you can actually get like a batch of switches shipped for basically like $4 or $5, basically the same pricing as USPS first class, which is really nice. And they also supply like, you know, modding accessories, dust pads, and so on and so forth. And we'll probably see more goodies that they're coming up with soon enough. Shipping from Canada to US is cheaper than shipping within Canada. Yeah, that's what I heard actually. I thought that was pretty funny. But then again, Canada is also a big country, though. So, I mean, the US also can have pretty expensive shipping within the US, depending on the size of the box and whatnot, and the distance it has to travel. Like first class shipping is pretty cheap here in the US, but priority mail, especially scale with once scaled past cubic rates, like commercial cubic rates, it actually can get quite expensive. Like sometimes sending a keyboard from here to like Seattle or something can be like $40 or $50 at least. So yeah. Anyway, next up we have Canon Keys. Make sure to check out Canon Keys. They have a lot of entry-level boards such as entry-level accessible boards such as the Brutalist series keyboards, which are all in stock. We also have the revised version of the Brutalist series keyboards coming up soon. You'll have the Brutal V2 coming up soon through AIO3, who currently works for Canon Keys and is also designing a lot of elements of their new website and their new product line. We also have a lot of Canon Keys made key sets that are also in stock. Nice PVT sets from Canon Keys. Also Canon caps. They're all cherry profile PVT sets with dye sublimated legends. They come in a very large variety of numbers. I would say that one of the most notable sets right now that I personally recommend is Nice PVT Sweater Weather and Nice PVT Shinbun. Look really, really nice in my opinion. There are somewhat neutral color sets, but for example, Shinbun is based on like newspaper, and it looks really sick in my opinion. But yeah. And of course, I'll be showing more sets that are coming up as they come in for review and whatnot. Canon Keys also runs group buys for key sets, keyboards, and among other things. You might have seen them run, for example, the Iron, Smith & Iron keyboards, or the Gentoo, or, they also sell switches and trays. They also, recently stocked their keycap trays. These are newly molded trays. So these are for, if you wanted to store, these are polycarbonate plastic trays with a magnetic closure. If you wanted to store like cherry profile keycaps, you can put cherry profile, you can put CXA, OEM, CAD, DSA, SAR3, and I believe you cannot store SA sculpted key sets because they're a bit too tall for that. So yeah, I'm using Shinbun now. Nice. Good night, one drunk man. Good night. Good night. Alright, next up we have CV Planet. Check out CV Planet. If you want to make a custom plate, you can have it made through CV Planet. It's a custom order. You can order even just one plate if you want it. But you can order them in a variety of materials. Very, very handy if you have access to plate files. Or if you need a replacement for a particular keyboard that you wanted to build differently, CV Planet has access to custom-made ordered plates. They also are the official proxy in North America for McLovin PCBs, so if you have any McLovin PCBs that you might need and they have them in stock, you'll see them on their store. As you can see, some of these Bongo Cat screw trays that I have here on the right side here, there's a green one and and a slightly like mauve one, sort of colored one here, the bingsu one. Is right here. Those are magnetized as well. You can have a magnet in, or you can actually remove the magnet as well, but basically they also have a variety of bases for it. They have a wooden base and a silicone base, but yeah, these Bongo Cat trays are also being sold through CB Planet, so check them out. They also occasionally sell like keycap sets as well as dust pads and other small accessories, and they will be working on more accessories in the future, so stay tuned for that. Bongo trays so lit? Yeah, they're very nice. It's really hot in this room right now. Alright, next up we have Kinetic Labs. Check out kineticlabs.com. They're a company based in North Bergen, New Jersey. So they ship out from the East Coast, and they also have a variety of unique goodies, including the Carbon GS1 and GS2 lubricant series, for example. And they also have a variety of dust pads and apparel that they've done as a collaboration with other makers. They also have switches like the penguins and the salmons, for example, or the hippos. They also have the Polycap series keycaps. These are cherry profile keycaps, also fairly accessible pricing and with good compatibility. Different style legends from, for example, the nice BBT or Keycaps that I mentioned earlier. So if you wanted something different, Polycaps might be for you, or maybe if you want to make a gift to somebody else. So you can check them out on kineticlabs.com. Next, we have novelkeys.com. A special announcement from Novelkeys is that they are going to be phasing out the Bolt promo code that I have right now going on, and it will no longer be working starting July 1st. So starting July 1st, we will have affiliate links for Novelkeys. So that means that purchases that you make through Novelkeys will count towards, affiliate payments towards us makers and content creators. So that means that instead of we won't have any more discount codes, and you'll have affiliate links that you can access, and you can support your favorite creator. There will be several creators who will be entering this affiliate program and all that stuff. So this will change starting in July. So yeah. So after this month, we won't be seeing any of that promo code Bolt kind of stuff anymore, unfortunately. But if you are currently browsing Novelkeys, you can check out GMK Mictlan, which we have been talking about during the stream. GMK Mictlan runs until July 2nd, I believe. So yeah, check that out. And also, they just opened the pre-order for Shuriki Matrix 01. So if you missed out on GMK Matrix 01 and you wanted the Shuriki version of it, the North American vendor for that is going to be Novelkeys. So I haven't checked out all the renders and all the details of that set, but it's supposed to be the same colors as the original GMK Matrix 01 set. But I assume the legends and the quality of the set might be different from the GMK one. Alright, I'm not fully done here. So let's see. Get your Rons, everybody, get your Rons, yeah. Alrighty, next up we have OmniType, where you can purchase in-stock GMK keycap sets from, including like Modern Dolge or Redacted. I'm not sure which ones are currently in stock, but you might want to check the stock. They did have a big 25% sale for their anniversary sale, so they might be out of stock of a lot of different items, but they also sell a bunch of desk pads, as well as accessories like keyboard bags and keycap or switch storage containers and whatnot. So you can check out omnitype.com/lightning for that. They are also currently running the TeihaType Studio desk pad. So if you are if you're a big fan of Mr. TeihaType's Nathan Kim himself, he is running a group buy for these desk pads. Very cute, with the very cute design of his studio, of himself in his studio with his two cats. And they come in 3 colors, so you can purchase that at omnitype.com/lightning if you want. Next up is Prime Keyboards, where I source a lot of my stabilizers and a bunch of my switches, like alpacas, and I also source like a lot of other things like my Durock V2 stabilizers, I source them there, or if I wanted like Durocks, like springs, like cold springs, for example, or if you wanted like a switch lubing station or something like that, you can find it at Prime Keyboards. Or if you have a Meridian, for example, and you wanted some accessories, I believe they might still have some plates, some palm plates that they cut for the Meridian as well. So you can check out primekeyboards.com, primekb.com/lightning rather, and check out all their collections. Project Keyboard, I don't think they're running any particular group buys right now or pre-orders, but they did just have their pre-order sale. Their GMK Extras, and they still have pre-orders open for a variety of key sets like Shoko R2 or Astrolight and so on and so forth. So if you missed out on some of these key sets, you might be able to purchase some sets on pre-order, but of course that means that you'll have to wait until they come out and ship. Okay, let's actually plug this in and try it out. Oh wait, actually before I do that, I also need to probably clip this first, isolate it. Alright. Nearly forgot about tail types Desmat? Yeah. That's going on right now. Alright, next up we have Salvan, our favorite Belgian CNC machinist. Located in Belgium, also the official proxy for a lot of Wilbitech products, and they also sell a variety of products in Europe. If you wanted to purchase stabilizers or lubricant or switches from them, for example, like Stabies will eventually be in stock through salvan.com as well. So check out Salvan's collection of items. It's a little too big. Just 2 layers. Did you join the GAF R2? I did not, because I already have one. I did not join the R2 round. Right. And then finally we have Space Cables, where we have GMK Classic Beige running. Is GMK Classic Beige, if you didn't know, it's basically the rerun of GMK KA1953, a key set that was in stock on Taobao for a long time, because this was run by Cherry Corp in China a long time ago. It was in stock for a little while, and now it was out of stock and it became very popular and people started buying it for a lot of money. But now it's come back in a rerun with modern kitting and compatibility, as well with the original Cherry approved Cherry novelties, officially licensed and approved Cherry novelties. And we also have row 5 bottom row fully for the bottom row sculpt. And we also have Hangul Beige coming back as an add-on kit for GMK Classic Beige. Hangul Beige was initially run by Mr. Zondad of Noxray Works years ago now, and it's coming back now with a little revision to it. There's of course a beige limo cable as a collaboration. For the key set. There's a Hebe, which comes in a black color with a red cherry logo, and then we also have 3 different desk mats by Mr. Sour, if you haven't seen his work with GMK Dandy and GMK Wasabi and other work. And of course, you can check out the different accessories that Space Cables has. They also have desk pads, lubricants, and all sorts of little goodies. So check out their collection. R5 so lit. Yeah, R5 very nice. Alright, so we need to test this bad boy. So let's plug this in. And let's also get our daughter board here. Okay. Alright, what's the small PCB board for? This is for the USB connector, and this is the light ring. There's a little LED light ring. So that's what it's for. Alright, so let me open file here. Alright, got detected, that's a good thing, and we want to test this, so let's just test it out. Looks like, okay, everything's working there, okay. Alrighty, everything's working. Nice. Okay, cool. Close that, and unplug it. Alright, it's time to put this together now. Which means, let's see, let's unplug this first. Alright, so, it's a little bit here. Let's unplug this first as well. Alright, so let's first mount our PCB over to the top piece. That's the first step. Okay, so our screws for the top piece, here they are. Whoop, these guys are stuck. And let's grab our screwdriver. Diego, what is your all-time favorite board? I mean, if I had to just keep one, I think I would probably just have an HKB around at least. But, if it were MX, I mean, I think I would... Ooh, that's kind of tough. Do I want a 60% or do I want a TKL? TKLs are great for the aesthetic. I love the aesthetic of TKLs in the classic layout. But functionally, I use a 60% more. So I probably might want to use either... I'm torn. I like my 356 Mini, which I have, but I also like my Juby a lot. That's a board I actually use a ton for work. I use my thermal a lot too, so I could keep that, but I don't know. I don't know actually. There's a lot of boards I use, but I think I use 60% more than TKL though, so at least functionally. 60 for aesthetic, TKL function, also aesthetic. I don't know. Yeah, both are good. Both are very functional layouts for me. But I think so. The reason I currently use 60% more, so I think I would use TKLs more if I were back like working in the industry again. Because I wouldn't require so much paperwork on my desk. But right now, like I work with a lot of paperwork, so I need to have the desk space. Like I need to have horizontal desk space here. I need to have surface area. So I need to clear out the desk. Like I need to put my board up here, for example. And having a 60% is really nifty to do that with. But in the case of a TKL, like I would use it for everything else too. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of depends. Yeah, so yeah, I think my taste would change, like maybe once I start working in a specific office job again, then I would probably work with a TKL a lot. But if I had to do a lot of paperwork, then probably less of that and more 60% when I need the desk space. Need desk space, but you haven't descended to 40s? I actually have descended to 40s before. I descended to 40s long ago. I descended to 40s early in the community, like early in 2017. I had a JD40, and a JD45 with blockers. I had a Daisy, I had a LED split, I had a minivan, but I couldn't get used to them, so I stopped using them. Yeah, I stopped using them because I couldn't use them. So I tried. I genuinely don't dislike 40s. I think they're cool, they're functional. If you can use it, that's great for you. Awesome, good for you. Fantastic, clap, clap, clap. But I couldn't, so I gave up. And reverted back. Yeah. I tried. I tried my best. Speaking of 60s, what do you think of Sagrada? It looks pretty cool. Saw pictures that people were posting. I guess Laminar was posting them himself too, and I think did he send it out to Nick? I think he just sent it out to Nick too, right? Sent one out to Nick. I think he sent one out to Alex. I think I saw that. I saw the interest check. It looked nice. It looked pretty neat. Will I get it, or like, where am I interested in getting it? I'm not sure. I'm gonna probably just gonna try to save money for a bit. I also just have a lot of keyboards, so I kind of don't really need another one, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. It looked nice though. I think it looked pretty cool. Do you have a Sonnet? I built a prototype, but I don't own one, no. Shall we put the little pad below it? I don't have a feeling like I want to, just for the sake of covering this. Thok pad, as Mr. ODM might say it, but he's gone to bed, so too bad he can't hear it. Ha ha ha! Just kidding. Right. All right, let's put this on. My timeout ran out. Oh, you got timed out. Oh, I see. It's on my clip for ODM. Basically done here. Just making sure nothing gets caught in the cables here. Now let's put the screws on. Finally! Sorry it took so long. Alrighty. My only keyword group I have to wait for right now is a Z65, and it keeps getting delayed. I'm afraid it's going to be a whole year before I get it. That's quite unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. Should I tell you about a group buy that I'm waiting for that is also seemingly delayed indefinitely? I'm in the Moon V2 TKL group buy, and literally there are 0 updates, and I am impatiently, just kidding. I'm just waiting for it, and the Discord server is locked, and I am just waiting patiently. Exent status. I'm meditating to wait for my Moon V2. Tomo coming soon at least? Oh, that is true. That is gonna be over soon, huh? I think they're QCing or something? Something like that. I used to have a light blue Anno 2.0 ADD with quite similar looking outer and inner weights. Maybe it was your old one, I don't know. The mechanical keyboard group by experience. Quintessential keyboard group by experience, you know it. If you don't wait, you're not a keyboard enthusiast. It do be like that. Alright, let's go. Let's get it. Alright, it's time to put keycap. Let's see. I don't know if I want an accent yet, so I'm gonna wait. I'm waiting on the play tray as well. We need the exent command? Wait, is it a command or would it just be the emote? I think the emote only is fine. Alright, so today we have GMK Shoko because client sent it out. So Shoko is today's key set of choice. Diego, do you see the meme Mason made? No, I did not. Is this a new meme? I have not seen the new meme. You see, when I'm streaming, I'm not looking at Discord, so it's hard to see whatever is being posted actively on Discord. So, yeah. This is looking pretty nice. We're really liking this light blue combo with Shoko. It's looking actually gorgeous. A combo I've been loving is Fuyu Alphas and Shoko mods. Oh, that would look pretty. That would look very cute. I don't have GMK Fuyu, but definitely know the set, so I only bought the desk pad for Fuyu. Possible Diego himself made it? Wait, what is this? Oh, that one. Yes, I actually made it myself. Yes, I actually made it myself. It was a discussion I was having with Jorge, with George of Keycult, and we were talking about Keycult building and whatever. It just came up and I made it. Yes, I made it on MS Paint. This board is so nice. Shoko also looks great. I think so too. I think so too. It looks sweet. Alright, we'll see what if we put an axe or not based on the artisans I picked out for it. I picked out some artisans for it that I think would look super with this. Let me show you guys what it is. Alright. Here they are. So I thought maybe I would use a little bit of a colored accent to sort of balance the kind of like the escape key as a separate accent, and then I was thinking of these four right here, kind of something going on with the blues, and then something going on with the lighter blue and the purple here. I was thinking maybe this Earl Escape, which looks very nice, and the escape key, and then these light blue keycaps. This is a Colonel from Booper. This is a Tiny Corby. Translucent as well. And this is a crap, the Krytox Kato 19 that I just picked up. Also very cute. I think, that said, I think I'm gonna go with Did your mic break? Oh no, it's probably the my noise filter. There you go. Mod enter. Wait, what do you mean mod enter? They're both mod enters. Do we use the accent or nah? Accent enter? Alright, accent enter it is. Look at that. It looks so nice. It looks great actually. Oh my god, this light blue ano is what I need on my 2.0 It looks so good. Oh, actually I had a... Give me a sec, okay? I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'm gonna zoom in this a little bit. And then I'll just put the typing thing on. But I'll be right back, okay? Just gonna go wash my hands and get ready for typing test, and also just gonna get some water actually. BRB. Alrighty, we're back. Are we good here? Alright, let's stop that music and get this typing test up. Alright, here it is. Okay, what is all this stuff? Okay, cool beans. That Earl base color matches the Shoko accent so well if you put it side by side with the single shot Shoko Earl. It's difficult to tell which bud is which. He might have used the same color swatch, I feel, right? Wishful? I feel like he might have used the same the formula that he had for the Shoko one. Because Binge is so exact when it comes to colors. He's so good at it. Alright, here we go. Let's give this a shot. So we have SP Star Marble Soda switches. These are these translucent blue switches on an aluminum plate. This is GMK Shoko round 2. Yeah, let's give this a shot. And we have just the case foam in there, okay? Just the case foam. All right, here we go. Oh, forgot to put it at 60 seconds, so let me do that. All right, here we go. Sounds nice. That does sound nice. Spacebar is interesting. How so? It sounds kind of deep, at least to me. 2.0add always sounds nice. Yeah, I think it sounds very good. Definitely different from Cherry though. Like, you know, typical Cherry or even Gateron switches. Sounds a little different from that. But it sounds good. Alright, here are the mods. I actually really like that spacebar. It's this like nice deep sound, not too loud, not too clacky. And considering that this has the spacebar screw, like, you know, the screw that goes right around here on the spacebar area, it has it fastened and it still sounds nice and deep and really nice. Really nice sound. Yeah, no, this is really good. This I actually do like these switches. I would say they're not like the smoothest and softest switches they are out there, but they, like, once lubed, I think they kind of shine. These SP Star switches, really like them. I actually expected a much brighter and louder sound to this board, but it actually doesn't sound that loud. It actually is somewhere like in the middle, and it's like pretty nice. It would be pretty pleasant to just like work with this one, like, you know, just type away. Yeah, no, this is good. It's really nice. How loud would they be compared to Creams? Creams would be decent bit louder. So Cream switches in general, because of the palm, is it? Yeah, it's palm, right? It has that leathery kind of texture to it. It has this like loud clacking sound to it. Also the, just in general, like Hail Creams tend to be on the louder side. Might depend on the board too. Like, you know, the board might be flexy or not, or like the board might have like different way it's mounted or something like that. That will change. Also, like the plate material, that will change how it sounds. But assuming all things constant, compared to like this SP Star switch, I assume Creams would be like a much brighter and louder kind of clack sort of sound, and also would have a little bit of that kind of like leathery sort of sound to it that Creams tend to have. Yeah, but this sounds really good. Yeah, I like them. I like them. All right, Mr. Diego, I have a question for you. What's up, Mr. Goat? How's it going? I'm gonna move this mic for a sec, so I'm gonna mute it. Did you end up picking up that super scuffed duckboard? Yes, I did. Yes, I did, and I already sent it out to be reworked. I did. It was the deal I was waiting for an Orion V2.5. I'm very excited about that one, actually. All right, let's unplug this. And let me show you what the board looks like up close. Very interesting to see how it turns out. I am interested myself as well. Mr. Goat, here we have some of these SB Star Marble sodas. These are brand new, hard to take out. Very cute color. Mr. Goat, how do you feel about filming switches these days? Adding switch films to switches these days. Okay, I'm of the camp that if I open up a switch, close it up, and I try to check the wobble, or like even like kind of twist the switch like the housings like these, right? Like this, right? And it doesn't wobble, then it doesn't need a film, right? Some people argue on the other camp that you must have switch films on pretty much anything that can even fit them. Right? As if it fits, you put it. How do you feel about it, Mr. Goat? I'll certainly agree with you unless you're unless you're going for sound modification basis. That's fair, because like yes, like if you know what property it'll affect in the sound and you prefer that, like if you did a few switches and you compared the two in sound only and you liked it more, good. But for me, like films are a utility, like a utility tool where it just removes the wobble that causes unpleasant rubbing and sounds from the switch when you press it, or actually during the upstroke in particular. As I would have something that would fall under your criteria of not needing films that I force films into a build. Ah, very cool. Films are sparsely necessary nowadays. That's my thought too. That's what I thought. I've noticed more and more switches with very nice and tight housings, with not very much wobble on either direction. So yeah, pretty pleased just in general. I was just gonna say that. I was like, oh yeah, I like that I don't have to use films as often. Alright friends, so here we have our keyboard. Whoever was asking for some close-ups, here it is. This is our GMK Shoko R2 on this light blue anodized Matrix 8XV2.0 additional. Just keep it all the way on though. And yeah, so this has some SP Star Marble Soda switches in that blue translucent housing. Very, very cute looking. It almost looks silver, but definitely has a tinge of blue. How do you feel about it in person? This is the 2.0 I would want. That's how I feel about it in person. I love this color. I love this anodizing color. This is so good. This is the perfect light baby blue color. It's so subtle. It's so nice. It's so nice. This is the color to have. This is so cute. Super cute. Goes perfectly with GMK Shoko. It's just perfect for it. Yeah, no, this pairing is absolutely great. Love it. Love it. How's the Ano versus Matrix coating? I like Ano more. It's like smoother. I mean, the Matrix coating has a nice texture to it. So if you like a little bit of roughness, the coating is pretty nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, the coating is super high quality. It's very resistant and it's very high quality. It's well applied. It's very nice and even. No particular like patches or streaking or any weird kind of like blemishes like that. So overall, Matrix coating, in my opinion, is very high quality. It's just as good quality as anodizing. But if you prefer the smoother anodizing texture, then anodizing is the way to go. What set would you put on it if it was yours? Shoko. This is how I would do it. This exactly the way it is right now is how I would be using it. because I mean these are also my own artisans. But I have GMK Shoko, and I would just put GMK Shoko on it because it looks perfect for it. It looks great. This is the perfect set for this board. It's perfect. Nice light blue, not too overbearing, not too light either. It's great. This works really nicely with this board. It's like has a tinge of that gray. Like this anodizing is like a light blue and light gray kind of hybrid, almost silver. And like, you know, silver if you put a very bright light to it, grayish if you kind of like have a little bit of a shadow to it. This is fantastic colorway. It's really pretty. But yeah, this is a peak form for this board. I think it looks really good. The dust mat's also really good with it right now. Even with all these green accents, it kind of complements the, it kind of detracts away from just the blue, so it's kind of nice. Yeah, no, this is a very nice pairing here. Excited for my 3.0 lilac anode to come in? That sounds exciting. I did not get into 3.0, but I mean, matrix finishes overall are never disappointing in my opinion. I've never really been disappointed by any matrix finish. As far as their finishing and anodizing is concerned, I've never really been disappointed by any of their work. So, I'm sure it'll be good. I'm sure it'll be great. Alrighty, so let's plug this back in. Oh, okay. Oh, did I accidentally put it on reset? I'm not sure, hold on. Just try a different cable, I think it might have. Alright, there we go. Alrighty, so I think that's all I got for today's stream. So yeah, let's wrap it up. Alright, so let's see who is streaming right now. Oh, I see Miss Chu Keyboards streaming at RS60 build. I see Miss Avery. Oh, maybe we should return the raid over to Avery, although she's been streaming for quite some time now. She's doing a Bear 65 R2 proto and comparing to V1. Wow, she's been streaming for 5 hours. Wow. Ankit is also streaming, but we raided them last time, or a couple of streams ago, so probably want to raid someone different this time. But we should probably return the favor to Miss Avery and shoot them over a raid. Alright friends, well, all I got for tonight. Again, I appreciate y'all's company and, you know, conversation. So I'll see you guys pretty soon, probably. The next build I might be doing is, I'll see what build it is, but let me see, what's the next one? It might be either a Kestra New or a Cake 60. Oh, it's gonna be a nice flexy 60% next time. So, or a Clavia Alice. Actually, I'm not sure. We'll see. One of those three. But basically 60% next time. So, alright, let's go raid Miss Apiary Keyboards. We love bears. Meow go. Meow go chatting. I love that emote. Thanks, Drew. We love bears. That's our raid message. Simple, nice and simple. All right, friends. Again, thank you so much for coming by and hanging out. I'll see you guys on the next one. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Yeah. Hope any plans that you have for the weekend turn out well. And I'll see you guys on the next one pretty soon. See you all. Bye bye.